Welcome back, everybody, to Photography Tips and Tricks, your show for gear, inspiration, review, anything that's going to take your photography to the next level. My name is RC, and I'm really happy to have with me here Mr. Larry Becker. Larry is my co-host when we were doing the D-Town things, but since then he's been doing some great reviews over at B&H Photo, and we get to see him every now and again just playing with a whole bunch of gear stuff. But you know what? His favorite column, one of the things that has always done very well, is cheap shots. So I wanted to bring him in live to talk to us a little bit about the things that he's working with. What do you got, Larry?
Hey, RC, thanks so much. You know, one of the things that I did some time ago was how do you do reflections for product shots and things like that. And we've heard of these kinds of things before where you just take a piece of glass and you set it on a table and you get a reflection. And then if you put a piece of black cloth or something under it, you'll get a black reflection. But there's a problem with that. Whether you're using glass or plexiglass, you end up with double reflections. And there's a reason why. That sheet of glass or plexiglass has two surfaces. So I'm going to show you how to get around it. Now I'm going to recommend that you go out and get a poster frame, really inexpensive poster frame like this from Walmart. And what you do is take that plastic, that sheet of plastic out of there, not this thin flimsy stuff that's on the surface, but the actual sheet of plexiglass out of there. Take it out, and it's got a protective film over the face of it. Leave that in place. And then you go to the other department in Walmart and buy some spray paint, but you have to buy a very special kind. There's a kind of spray paint that works on plastic, so make sure that you buy black spray paint for plastic. And then you take that sheet of plexiglass out, lay it out in the yard, and spray paint the back of it black. And the reason that that makes such a difference is that the black clinging to one side of the sheet of plexiglass makes all the difference in the world. You get a single reflection then when you place stuff on it. So here's one that I did. And mine's kind of scratched up. I've used it a bunch of times. But what you do is set it down flat on the table. And you can even see right now in the video, you can see that I've got this nice reflection of me going on. So you just set a product or something like that right here, and you get a beautiful single reflection, and it doesn't have that double reflection that lots of people get when they use a sheet of glass on top of something. By the way, if you want to protect the surface for like storage, you probably want to take a sheet of poster board and tape it over the face of it, because this stuff scratches up really easy once you do peel off that protective stuff that it ships with. That's it for cheap shots this time on Photography Tips and Tricks. And RC has more. He'll be right back after this message.
The key to the headshot and capturing a great headshot or portrait for that matter is expression. You can have great lighting, you can have a great subject, you can have a killer background, but if you don't have expression, in my opinion, you got nothing. Hey, my name's Peter Hurley. I'm a portrait photographer in New York, and here I am in my city. I knew I was a portrait photographer because that's what I do. I just am intrigued by the fact that we all look so different. We have so many different expressions we can make. Why not go for them? Maniacal. The art of capturing expression is simply working with your subject to get organic and spontaneous life out of them, human stuff. Now, forehead like a chicken. Hold that, I like that, good. When you have a person, technical is out the window. I'm 90% therapist, 10% photographer. The technical's done. I'm Peter Hurley, and it's all about making faces in portraiture. Come check out my class at kelbytraining.com. Shebang, shebang, shebang! #1 catchphrase.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tips and Tricks. My name is RC, and I've got a quick tip for you on shooting at night. Here's the deal. When you're working with night photography, what you're doing is you're taking pictures of really cool moons and really subtle elements. But more often than not, if you're sitting outside, you're using light poles and you know, lights that are pretty much sodium vapor lights that are outside. So what happens is a lot of the times the pictures that you start taking with this happen to be very yellow in nature. So anytime that you try to adjust your white balance, be it auto or night or this or that, more often than not, it doesn't produce the best result that you want. Now, this is what I would recommend to you. Instead of using a white balance that happens to be something that's like, let's say something like this, where we're going into, let's see here. Instead of using a automatic or fluorescent or something like that, or a preset, if your camera has a K setting like that, use that, right? That's gonna let you dial in a specific amount of Kelvin. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to do the reverse job here. I'm showing that this button here on my camera sets the different presets, and then this one here on the front lets you change those Kelvin. So notice that as I move it around, it starts getting higher and higher and higher. The higher and higher it's getting, the warmer it gets, and it gets to a point where all of a sudden it resets. Now, I don't want to get into the psychology of what those numbers are. What I will tell you is this. The higher the number, the more yellow it's going to be. So when you get onto the scene and you shoot, if it starts looking like it's a little warm, just switch that K setting and then just start bringing that number down, 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 down. And I usually shoot at like 3,000, 3,500, and it starts making everything very, very blue. But by making everything blue at night, what it's doing is it's offsetting a lot of the times for those lamps that you see at night, and it makes for a much better image. So getting it in the camera immediately when you're working with that is something that's very, very important. Now, here's something that you might want to consider. If you are doing this for night photography and you introduce a flash to this, let's say you want to put a person with a guitar at night and you're offsetting that, then you're going to need to warm up your light. Right? If you hit a person with just a regular light with your camera balanced really, really low, that light's going to be completely blue. So you're going to need to use something like color temperature orange or CTO sheets to be able to offset that light so that the person can look natural in that space. Quick thing for you to do is just to carry sheets of quarter cut CTO and just put them on top of the flash until you get the actual color that you need. We'll talk a little bit about that in other episodes of Photography Tips and Tricks, but a quick tip for you to how to be able to balance that light at night. Now, speaking of light, we've got Eric Vallon, who's a phenomenal photographer, a really good friend of mine, with this wonderful tip for you.
All right, hey gang, my name's Eric Vallon. I'm a commercial photographer, and I've got a quick tip for you on using your lights on location. When you walk into a room, you're confronted with all kinds of different light temperatures. You might have a really warm light over there in the corner from that lamp with the tungsten bulb, or you might have really green light overhead from those fluorescent lights. What you're going to want to do is balance your strobe light with the lights in the room so you get a nice even looking photo. To do that, we've got to go ahead and change the color temperature of this light to match what's in the room. To do that, we actually use gels. You might actually have a set of gels already and you don't even know it. This is a quick set of correction gels that actually came in the packaging with my Nikon Speedlight. So make sure you check in that box. You might have these laying around and you can put them to use right away. If you don't, I definitely recommend looking into a kit that's a little more extensive. These are made by Rogue. This is a correction and a theatrical gel kit, and in it you get a whole bunch of different colors that do different things. For example, if I walk into that room with that green overhead light, really fluorescent light, kind of makes your skin look sickly, I've got to go ahead and first match my flash to that, and then I'm going to neutralize it. To do that, I might go ahead and grab one of these. This is a green corrective gel. It's really easy to apply. What I'm going to do is take one of these rubber bands that they come with the kit, and I just basically put it overhead like this, band it off, and that quickly, I've adjusted the color temperature of my Speedlight to match that of the room. Now all I have to do is go ahead into my camera, the white balance preset setting, go to the fluorescent setting right there. This will match the ceiling light. Everything will look great. The skin tones will come out wonderful, and you'll have no problems shooting the rest of the event. So if you want to hear more about me, check out ericvallon.com, or more about this, definitely check out my classes on kelbytraining.com. Thanks a lot. We'll go back to the guys in the studio.
I would describe my style of photography as extremely focused on expression, interaction, and authenticity. The idea of it being a lifestyle photography does fit because it really is the style of how one lives their life and what they express about themselves. Specifically as it relates to a family, I want to think about the fact that I am photographing multiple people but representing them as a one. These people belong to each other, and I want to show that. Why people are coming to you in the first place. Why do they want a portrait? Life is moving so fast and they want to freeze some of it. They want to stop this and remember what it is that they're doing, who it is that they love, who they are together. This is something that when they're looking back in 20, 30 years, they can then see everything about that time in their life that meant so much to them. I'm Tamara Lackey, and I'd like to invite you to check out my class on kelbytraining.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Photography Tips and Tricks. My name is RC, and it's contest time. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to kelbytv.com. When you're there, I want you to find the show that you're watching. In this case, it's Photography Tips and Tricks. You're going to click on that show, and you're going to go to the episode that you're watching for this. This is episode 16. So you need to go inside of the actual episode because I want you to go over here and I want you to leave a comment in one section. So navigate all the way down to the bottom, and inside of here, there's a section for you to leave your comments. I know there's a lot of comments. Gotta get down here. So right here, name, email, website, and leave a comment. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. This is your show. We want to answer all of your questions. Our producer will only be picking from this site, and one of you guys is going to win an Impact Umbrella mount bracket combined with an Impact umbrella. And it looks like it's a reversible. It's got a removable cover. It's a 32-inch black-white umbrella. This is the best way for you to start when you're working with light. Keep it simple, keep it small, keep it portable, keep it with an umbrella. Thank you very much, Impact and B&H, for helping us with this. Now, I have a website that I want you to take a look at. This is the website that we want to watch this week. We featured him before, and it's Joey L. It's Joey Lawrence. JoeyL.com has got some great work. This guy is phenomenally good at creating beautiful portraiture. And recently, he's just put out a book. If you want to be able to learn a lot of technique on how to be able to do these kinds of things, I think that it's a great thing for you to take a look at. Now, what I want you to look for specifically is I want you to look for on Google Joey L. Kickstarter, because this is going to bring you to this project, the People of the Delta Film Project. Joey L. not only does he do a lot of celebrity portraiture work, but he does a lot of work from the heart, and he has really done some beautiful work in faraway lands to be able to bring voices to these people. This film is a cinematic narrative film collaborating with real people in the stories of the tribes of Ethiopia's Omo Valley. So Joey spent a lot of time in Ethiopia, and now he's creating a film of this and needs your help. I would seriously want you to consider to go to the Kickstarter page and support this project. It's going to be some phenomenal work. So that's the website that I want you to take a look at. This is the gear that you're going to win this week on Photography Tips and Tricks. My name is RC, and we'll see you guys next week.